passionate ways. Critical minds, empathetic hearts, learning from the start. Together we'll find a path through the nights and days. To the storm, through the strife, let's build a better life. To love, to love, to life. Two worlds, one heart, we're strong. Let's build a better life. Two worlds, one heart, we're stronger when we unite. Amber and Bink, their love, they fight for unity. In this divided light, they showed us how to see, how to grow. In every mind a spark, in every heart a glow. Social divides, political tides pulling us apart, but together we can weather with wisdom and with heart. From the lab to the streets, every soul we meet holds the key to a future where we all have a part. Two worlds, one heart, let's find, let's build a better life. Two worlds, one heart, we're stronger when we unite. Two worlds, one heart, let's standing side by side. In unity, in love, let compassion be our guide. For in this divided light, they showed us how to see, how to grow. In every mind a spark, in every heart a glow. In this divided light, they showed us how to see, how to grow. In every mind a spark, in every heart a glow. Social divides, political tides pulling us apart. In this time we can truly find two worlds, one heart, being humankind.
Table of Contents. Introduction. The Dawn of Discovery. Chapter 1. The Breakthrough. The Initial Discovery. Analyzing the Data. The Revelation of Two Species. The Decision to Go Public. Chapter 2. The Scientific Community Reacts. Presenting the Findings. The Mixed Reception. Peer Reviews and Criticisms. Continuing the Research. Chapter 3. Cognitive Differences. Thought Patterns of Homo Trumpas. Emotional Reactivity and Groupthink. Authority Dependence and Social Behaviors. Case Studies and Anomalies. Chapter 4. Understanding the Implications. Ethical Dilemmas and Discussions. Environmental and Genetic Factors. Longitudinal Studies and Comparative Research. Developing New Educational Programs. Chapter 5. Implementing Change. Creating the Curriculum. Pilot Programs and Early Results. Scaling up Educational Efforts. Training Educators and Community Outreach. Chapter 6. Social and Political Ramifications. Polarized Communities. Challenges in Coalition Building. Discrimination and Stigmatization. Advocating for Inclusive Policies. Chapter 7. Personal and Professional Struggles. Balancing Research and Advocacy. Overcoming Criticism and Misrepresentation. Finding Unexpected Allies. Public Recognition and Support. Chapter 8. A Vision for the Future. Integrating Homo Trumpas and Homo sapiens. Promoting Common Humanity. Long-term Impact of Educational Programs. Celebrating Unity and Collaboration. Conclusion. Reflecting on the Journey. The Legacy of Amber and Bink. Hopes for a Unified Tomorrow.
In a lab where silence reigns, late at night no one complains. Amber's eyes on the screen, secrets in the gene. Binks across the room in the glow of the moon. Two hearts, one quest to find what's unseen. Markers so distinct, lighting up the code. A whisper in the dark, a story to unfold. Amber's voice so soft, calling Bink to see a discovery that's meant to be. Discovery that's meant to be. Discovery at dawn, secrets of the DNA. Two worlds in one, a new species on display. Homo Trumpas found in the quiet of the night. Two hearts, one light, bringing truth to sight. Partners in life and science, hand in hand advance. Years of work and dreams unraveling the strands. From a conference long ago to this moment's glow, together they stand with a truth that expands. Markers so that expands. Markers so distinct, lighting up the code. A whisper in the dark, a story to unfold. Amber's voice so soft, calling Bink to see a discovery that's meant to be. Discovery that's meant to be. Discovery at dawn, secrets of the DNA. Two worlds in one, a new species on display. Homo Trumpas found in the quiet of the night. Two hearts, one light, bringing truth to sight. A new species, a new path. The future's wide and vast. Questions to explore, a legacy to last. Challenges they'll face, but they'll stand strong. Amber and Bink in a world where they belong. In the light of a new day, they prepare what to say. Ready for the world, for the truth to unfurl. With data in their hands, they take their stand for a future bright in a complex world. Discovery at dawn, secrets of the DNA. Two worlds in one, special years 12. Homo Trumpas found in the quiet of the night. Two hearts, one light, bringing truth to sight. Discovery at dawn, a journey just begun. Two worlds together under the same sun. Amber and Bink with a story to tell. In the lab of life where mysteries dwell.
Introduction. In the quiet corners of a university laboratory, amid the hum of computers and the soft glow of monitors, a groundbreaking discovery was about to change the world. Amber and Bink Robinson, a husband and wife research team renowned for their work in genetics, were on the verge of unraveling a mystery that had eluded scientists for generations. Their journey began, as many great discoveries do, with a question. What subtle differences lay hidden within the human genome, shaping the diverse tapestry of human thought and behavior? Amber, with her keen analytical mind and unwavering determination, and Bink, with his intuitive grasp of complex biological systems, were the perfect pair to tackle this enigma. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the lab grew quiet, Amber noticed an anomaly in a DNA sequence they had been studying. What at first seemed like a minor discrepancy quickly revealed itself to be something far more significant. After hours of intense scrutiny and countless reruns of their analysis, the Robinsons stumbled upon a startling revelation. Humanity was not composed of a single species, but two distinct ones, Homo sapiens and a newly identified species, Homo Trumpas. Homo Trumpas, though virtually indistinguishable in appearance from Homo sapiens, exhibited markedly different cognitive patterns and neural structures. This species, named for its association with certain behavioral traits and societal trends, lacked what scientists referred to as the thinking gene. This mutation, which had first appeared several generations ago, led to a simplification of thought processes and a tendency towards emotional reactivity and groupthink. As Amber and Bink delved deeper into their research, they discovered that these differences extended beyond mere cognition. Homo Trumpas individuals displayed a strong reliance on authority, a resistance to change, and a pronounced us vs them mentality. Their behavior, driven by simplified thinking and an avoidance of complex reasoning, created distinct social and political ramifications. The Robinsons knew their discovery would not only redefine scientific understanding, but also ignite a fierce debate across the globe. The implications of their findings were profound, touching on the nature versus nurture debate, the role of genetics in shaping human behavior, and the ethical considerations of defining human diversity. With their groundbreaking research ready to be unveiled, Amber and Bink braced themselves for the journey ahead. They were not just revealing a new chapter in human evolution. They were also stepping into a complex web of social, political, and ethical challenges. Their mission extended beyond the lab. They aimed to foster understanding, empathy, and unity in a world poised on the edge of division. As the first rays of dawn broke through the lab's windows, casting a hopeful light on their findings, Amber and Bink Robinson prepared to share their discovery with the world. Little did they know, their work would set in motion a series of events that would test their resolve, challenge societal norms, and ultimately shape the future of humanity.
In the lab late at night, under the fluorescent light, Amber saw a spark, a clue in the dark. Bink joined her there with a curious stare. Together they found a truth so profound. Markers so clear, a pattern so strange. In the DNA, a new species arranged. With hearts full of wonder, mindset to explore, they uncovered a secret, an evolutionary door. This is the moment of realization, the world about to change. Two species, one Earth, in a scientific exchange. Homo Trumpas now revealed with the story to unfold. In the quiet of their lab, a discovery bold. They expanded the scope, searching for more hope. Samples from afar showed who we truly are. Genetic threads so fine, a divergence in the line. Homo Trumpas stands, a new chapter in our lands. Markers so clear, a pattern so strange. In the DNA, a new species arranged. With hearts full of wonder, mindset to explore, they uncovered a secret, an evolutionary door. It's the moment of realization, the world about to change. Two species, one Earth, in a scientific exchange. Homo Trumpas now revealed with the story to unfold. In the quiet of the lab, a discovery bold. In the dawn's early light, they prepared to fight for understanding and truth, to shine ever bright. Amber and Bink, with the groundbreaking find, charted a new course for the future of mankind.
Chapter 1. The Discovery. 1.1. An unexpected finding. It was a typical Tuesday evening in the Robinson laboratory. The rhythmic hum of the centrifuge and the soft beeping of monitors provided a familiar soundtrack to the focused silence. Amber Robinson, a geneticist known for her meticulous attention to detail, was engrossed in analyzing DNA sequences on her computer screen. Her husband, Bink, a brilliant biologist with an intuitive grasp of complex systems, worked across the room, surrounded by an array of genetic samples and research papers. As the clock ticked towards midnight, Amber's eyes narrowed in concentration. She had been studying genetic markers in human populations for months, seeking patterns that might explain variations in cognitive abilities and behavior. Tonight, something peculiar caught her eye, a series of anomalies that defied the usual explanations. "Bink, come look at this!" Amber called, her voice tinged with excitement. Bink crossed the room, peering over her shoulder at the data displayed on the screen. "What is it?" he asked, curiosity piqued. "I'm not entirely sure," Amber replied, "but these markers, they're different from anything we've seen before. They don't fit the standard patterns for Homo sapiens." 1.2. Amber and Bink Robinson, the research team. Amber and Bink Robinson had been partners in both life and science for over a decade. Their combined expertise and shared passion for unraveling the mysteries of human genetics had led them to countless discoveries, but nothing like this. Amber's analytical precision complemented Bink's creative problem-solving, making them an unstoppable team. Their journey had begun in graduate school, where a chance meeting at a conference had sparked both a professional collaboration and a deep personal connection. Over the years, they had built a reputation for their groundbreaking research, earning accolades and respect in the scientific community. 1.3. The initial hypothesis. The anomalies Amber had discovered were intriguing, but they needed more data. Over the next few days, the Robinsons expanded their analysis, incorporating genetic samples from diverse populations around the world. The results were astonishing. A subset of the population exhibited a distinct set of genetic markers that set them apart from the rest of humanity. "Bink, I think we might be looking at a new species," Amber said one evening, her voice barely above a whisper. Bink looked up from his notes, his eyes wide with disbelief. "A new species? You mean within humans?" "Yes," Amber nodded. "These markers are consistent and significant. They point to a different evolutionary path." 1.4. First clues in the DNA. The more they investigated, the clearer the picture became. The new species, which they tentatively named Homo Trumpas, appeared to have diverged from Homo sapiens several generations ago. The most striking difference lay in the neural structures and thought processes. The thinking gene, crucial for complex reasoning and critical thinking, was either absent or significantly mutated in Homo Trumpas individuals. "This could explain so much about the variations in human behavior and cognition," Bink mused, scanning the latest batch of data. 1.5. The moment of realization. The Robinsons knew they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. Their discovery was not just about genetics. It had profound implications for understanding human diversity and the nature of intelligence. But it also posed challenging questions. How would society react to the idea of two distinct human species? What ethical considerations needed to be addressed? Late one night, as they reviewed their findings, Amber turned to Bink. "We have to publish this. The world needs to know." Bink nodded, a mixture of excitement and trepidation in his eyes. "Yes, but we need to be prepared for the fallout. This isn't just a scientific revelation. It's going to change everything." As dawn broke over the university campus, casting a hopeful glow over their lab, Amber and Bink Robinson prepared to share their discovery with the world. They were about to embark on a journey that would challenge not only their scientific expertise, but also their resilience and commitment to truth. The discovery of Homo Trumpas was just the beginning.
In the lab they delve deeper, Amber's eyes grow keener, genetic threads entwined, secrets in the mind. Neural maps they trace in every hidden place, Homo Trumpas found with traits so profound. Markers in the brain, a story to explain, differences so clear, in the science they adhere. Through the lens of light we see the subtle fight between logic and emotion, in the DNA's motion, unveiling the unknown, a world they've just found, two species intertwined on this common ground. Homo Trumpas revealed in the data so real, a story of the mind, in the light they feel. Publishing the truth in journals they prove, met with awe and doubt, their voices ring out. Media lights ablaze in the scientific maze, Amber and Bink stand tall, answering the call. Markers in the brain, a story to explain, differences so clear, in the science they adhere. Through the lens of light they see the subtle fight between logic and emotion, in the DNA's motion, unveiling the unknown, a world they've just found, two species intertwined on this common ground. Homo Trumpas revealed in the data so real, a story of the mind, in the light they feel. From conferences to screens, the world debates what it means, ethical lines they tread with every word they've said. Amber and Bink's resolve in the mystery they solve, to understand, to teach, and to reach beyond the breach. Public reaction, fierce emotions running fierce, some embrace the find, others fear what they might find. But through it all they stand, with knowledge in their hand, a journey just begun under the rising sun. Markers in the brain, a story to explain, differences so clear, in the science they adhere. Through the lens of light they see the subtle fight between logic and emotion, in the DNA's motion, unveiling the unknown, a world they've just found, two species intertwined on this common ground. Homo Trumpas revealed in the data so real, a story of the mind, in the light they feel, unveiling the unknown with every step they take, in the quest for truth, for understanding's sake. Amber and Bink press on with the courage to explore the mysteries of the mind, forever seeking more.
Chapter 2. Homo Trumpas Identified. 2.1 Detailed Genetic Analysis. As the news of their discovery began to spread, Amber and Bink Robinson faced the monumental task of conducting a more detailed genetic analysis to substantiate their findings. The scientific community was abuzz with curiosity, skepticism, and excitement. The Robinsons knew that their initial data, while compelling, needed further validation and exploration. Amber, ever the meticulous scientist, spent countless hours analyzing genetic samples from various populations worldwide. Bink, with his knack for intuitive insights, helped to piece together the broader implications of their data. Together, they mapped out the genetic distinctions that set Homo Trumpas apart from Homo sapiens. The Robinsons discovered that Homo Trumpas individuals possessed unique neural structures that affected their cognitive processes. The absence or significant mutation of the so-called thinking gene resulted in simplified thinking patterns, emotional reactivity, and a propensity for groupthink. These findings were not just anomalies, but consistent markers that defined a distinct species. 2.2 neural structures and cognitive differences. The more Amber and Bink delved into their research, the clearer the cognitive and behavioral distinctions between Homo sapiens and Homo Trumpas became. Neuroimaging studies revealed differences in brain activity and structure, particularly in areas associated with higher-order thinking, empathy, and decision-making. Homo Trumpas individuals showed reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, the region of the brain responsible for complex reasoning and critical thinking. Instead, they relied more heavily on the limbic system, which governs emotions and instinctual responses. This reliance on emotional processing over rational analysis explained many of the behavioral traits observed in Homo Trumpas, such as their susceptibility to charismatic authority figures and their resistance to change. 2.3. Publishing the findings. With their findings meticulously documented and peer-reviewed, Amber and Bink prepared to publish their research in a leading scientific journal. They knew that their discovery would not only revolutionize the field of genetics, but also spark significant debate and controversy. The day their paper was published, the world reacted with a mix of astonishment, disbelief, and curiosity. Media outlets from around the globe clamored for interviews, and the Robinsons found themselves thrust into the spotlight. They were hailed as pioneers and questioned as provocateurs. The scientific community, while generally supportive, was divided on the implications of their discovery. 2.4. The scientific community reacts. Colleagues and experts in genetics, anthropology, and neuroscience weighed in on the Robinsons' findings. Some praised the thoroughness of their research and the groundbreaking nature of their discovery. Others cautioned against drawing hasty conclusions, urging further studies and replication of the results. Amber and Bink participated in numerous conferences and symposiums, presenting their data and engaging in spirited debates. They faced tough questions about the ethical implications of defining a new human species and the potential for discrimination and social division. 2.5. Media coverage and public reaction. As news of Homo Trumpas spread, public reaction ranged from fascination to fear. Headlines proclaimed the dawn of a new era in human understanding, while op-eds warned of the dangers of genetic determinism and the potential for societal upheaval. Amber and Bink made concerted efforts to communicate their findings responsibly, emphasizing that their discovery was not about creating divisions, but about understanding human diversity. They appeared on talk shows, wrote articles, and participated in public forums, advocating for a nuanced and compassionate approach to their research. Despite their best efforts, the discourse often polarized. Some groups embraced the concept of Homo Trumpas as a way to explain social and political behaviors, while others rejected it as pseudoscience. The Robinsons remained steadfast, committed to the pursuit of knowledge and the hope that their work would ultimately lead to greater empathy and unity. As they navigated the tumultuous waters of public opinion and scientific scrutiny, Amber and Bink Robinson knew that their journey was far from over. The identification of Homo Trumpas was just the beginning. They were determined to continue their research, exploring the complex interplay of genetics and environment, and working towards a future where understanding and cooperation could bridge even the deepest divides.
the lab they explore, deeper than before, thought patterns clear. In the data they adore, Amber sees the mind, how it's intertwined, simplified thoughts and Homo Trumpas kind. Emotion runs high in the brain, they find quick to react, slow to unwind. A world seen in black and white, shades of grey lost in the night. Bridging the divide between two worlds we see, understanding hearts and minds can set us free. Homo Trumpas, Homo sapiens, together we can grow. In empathy and truth, the seeds of hope will sow. Group things strong where they belong, following leaders right or wrong. Authority revered, dissent is feared, in unity they stand, but so much is unclear. Emotion runs high in the brain, they find quick to react, slow to unwind. A world seen in black and white, shades of grey lost in the night. Bridging the divide between two worlds we see, understanding hearts and minds can set us free. Homo Trumpas, Homo sapiens, together we can grow. In empathy and truth, the seeds of hope will sow. Education's key to unlock the mind, empathy and learning in each heart we'll find. Social tides, political rides, populist waves where they confide. Amber and Bink with wisdom meet. Wisdom meet guide the ways we rethink. Emotion runs high in the brain, quick to react, slow to unwind. A world seen in black and white, shades of grey lost in the night. Bridging the divide between two worlds we see, understanding hearts and minds can set us free. Homo Trumpas, Homo sapiens, together we can grow. In empathy and truth, the seeds of hope will sow. Soft glow, building bridges so understanding flows. Amber and Bink, their hearts align, for a future bright with knowledge kind. For a future bright with knowledge kind.
Chapter 3. Understanding the Differences. 3.1. Thought Patterns and Behavioral Traits. With the initial discovery of Homo Trumpas gaining widespread attention, Amber and Bink Robinson turned their focus to a more detailed exploration of the cognitive and behavioral traits that set this new species apart from Homo sapiens. Their research aimed to understand not only the genetic differences, but also how these differences manifested in everyday thought patterns and behaviors. Amber, a specialist in cognitive neuroscience, led studies examining the thought processes of Homo Trumpas individuals. She observed a tendency towards simplified black-and-white thinking, which contrasted sharply with the nuanced reasoning more common among Homo sapiens. This binary approach to problem-solving often led to quick, decisive actions, but lacked the depth of critical analysis. 3.2. Simplified thinking and emotional reactivity. One of the most striking findings was the pronounced emotional reactivity in Homo Trumpas individuals. Bink, using neuroimaging techniques, discovered that their limbic systems, the part of the brain involved in emotional responses, were more active than those of Homo sapiens, particularly in response to stimuli perceived as threats or challenges to their beliefs. This heightened emotional reactivity explained many observed behaviors: impulsive decision-making, susceptibility to charismatic leaders, and a tendency to react strongly to perceived slights or criticisms. Amber and Bink noted that while this could lead to cohesive group behavior, it also made Homo Trumpas individuals more prone to conflicts and less adaptable to changing circumstances. 3.3. Groupthink and authority dependence. Amber and Bink's research also highlighted the phenomenon of groupthink within Homo Trumpas communities. Their studies showed a strong inclination towards conforming to the majority opinion and an aversion to dissent. This herd-like behavior was reinforced by a deep reliance on authority figures who provided clear direction and a sense of security. Bink led sociological surveys and interviews that revealed how Homo Trumpas individuals often deferred to leaders without question, valuing loyalty and unity over individual critical thinking. This dependence on authority made them effective in coordinated actions, but also vulnerable to manipulation by those in power. 3.4. Social and political implications. The Robinsons understood that these cognitive and behavioral traits had profound social and political implications. In societies where Homo Trumpas individuals were numerous, there was a noticeable trend towards populist movements and charismatic leadership. These societies often experienced polarization and division as the simplified thinking and emotional reactivity of Homo Trumpas clashed with the more analytical and open-minded approaches of Homo sapiens. Amber and Bink faced a difficult challenge: how to present their findings in a way that fostered understanding rather than division. They emphasized that recognizing these differences was not about creating hierarchies, but about finding ways to bridge gaps and promote cooperation. 3.5. Ethical considerations. As their research progressed, the ethical considerations of defining a new human species became more pressing. The Robinsons were acutely aware of the potential for their findings to be misused or misinterpreted, leading to discrimination or stigmatization of Homo Trumpas individuals. Amber and Bink convened a series of ethical review panels, bringing together experts in genetics, sociology, and ethics to discuss the implications of their work. They advocated for a compassionate approach that respected the dignity of all individuals, regardless of their genetic makeup. In their public statements and academic papers, the Robinsons stressed the importance of education and empathy. They proposed programs aimed at enhancing critical thinking and emotional intelligence, designed to help Homo Trumpas individuals develop skills that could bridge the cognitive gap between the two species. As they navigated these complex issues, Amber and Bink remained committed to their goal: a deeper understanding of human diversity that could lead to greater harmony and cooperation. They knew that their work was just beginning, and that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges. But with each new discovery, they took another step towards a future where differences were understood, respected, and embraced.
In the heart of the lab where questions arise, Amber and Bink seeking truth in the skies. Genes tell a story, but it's only a part. The environment shapes us, plays a crucial part. Nature sets the stage with markers in our genes, but nurture writes the script. the spaces in between. Through the lens of life they see the blend of genetics and surroundings where they meet and mend. Nature and nurture, hand in hand they play, shaping minds and hearts, guiding us each day in the dance of life where science meets the soul. Amber and Bink, uncovering the whole. Enriched environments where minds can grow, education and support the seeds they sow. Sarah's story, a beacon of light, raised with care, she reached new heights. Nature sets the stage with markers in our genes, but nurture writes the script in the spaces in between. Through the lens of life they see the blend of genetics and surroundings where they meet and mend. Nature and nurture, hand in hand they play, shaping minds and hearts, guiding us each day in the dance of life where science meets the soul. Amber and Bink, uncovering the whole. Neuroplasticity, the brain's own art, adapting and growing in every part with the right tools and a nurturing hand. Every mind can flourish across this land. Methodologies, precise data that they explore, longitudinal studies revealing more. In journals and conferences their voices ring. Nature and nurture, the song they sing. Nature and nurture, hand in hand they play, shaping minds and hearts, guiding us each day in the dance of life where science meets the soul. Amber and Bink, uncovering the whole. Nurture, hand in hand they play, shaping minds and hearts, guiding us each day in the dance of life where science meets the soul. Amber and Bink, covering the whole. Nature and nurture, a symphony of growth. In the quest for understanding, they honor both with compassion and knowledge. They light the way for a brighter tomorrow, where everyone can say we're shaped by both in every way.
Chapter 4. The Nature versus Nurture Debate. 4.1 Genetic Predispositions. As the implications of their groundbreaking discovery continued to unfold, Amber and Bink Robinson turned their attention to a fundamental question in their research. What role did genetics play in the cognitive and behavioral traits of Homo Trumpas? This line of inquiry led them into the heart of the age-old nature versus nurture debate. Amber, with her expertise in genetics, began by examining the specific genes associated with the distinct thought patterns and neural structures of Homo Trumpas. She identified several key genetic markers that seemed to correlate with the simplified thinking and emotional reactivity observed in this new species. These markers, she hypothesized, were the result of evolutionary pressures that had shaped Homo Trumpas over generations. Bink, ever the pragmatist, pointed out that genetics was only part of the story. We need to understand how these genes express themselves in different environments, he said, urging a broader perspective that included environmental and social factors. 4.2 Environmental Influences. To explore the environmental aspects of their research, Amber and Bink designed a series of studies that compared Homo Trumpas individuals raised in various settings. They looked at different socioeconomic backgrounds, educational environments, and family structures, seeking to understand how these factors influenced cognitive development. Their findings were illuminating. Homo Trumpas individuals who grew up in enriched environments with access to quality education and diverse social interactions showed greater cognitive flexibility and a higher capacity for critical thinking. These individuals were less prone to emotional reactivity and more open to new ideas, suggesting that nurture played a significant role in shaping their abilities. Conversely, those raised in environments that lacked educational resources and social diversity tended to exhibit the stereotypical traits of Homo Trumpas more strongly. This reinforced the idea that while genetics set the stage, environmental factors could significantly influence outcomes. 4.3 Case Studies of Homo Trumpas. Exhibiting Homo sapiens abilities. Intrigued by these findings, Amber and Bink sought out case studies of Homo Trumpas individuals who had developed cognitive abilities more characteristic of Homo sapiens. They interviewed people like Sarah, a young woman who excelled in academic settings and demonstrated remarkable emotional intelligence, despite having the genetic markers of Homo Trumpas. Sarah's story was a testament to the power of a supportive environment. Raised by parents who prioritized education and encouraged critical thinking, she had access to resources that allowed her to flourish. Her teachers recognized her potential and provided additional challenges that stimulated her intellectual growth. These case studies highlighted the plasticity of the human brain and underscored the importance of creating supportive environments that could nurture cognitive development, regardless of genetic predispositions. 4.4 Neuroplasticity and Adaptation. Amber and Bink's research also delved into the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and reorganize itself in response to learning and experience. They found that with targeted interventions, such as cognitive training programs and educational enrichment, Homo Trumpas individuals could develop more complex thinking patterns and enhanced emotional regulation. This discovery was groundbreaking. It suggested that while genetic differences existed, they were not necessarily destiny. With the right environmental stimuli and educational strategies, the cognitive abilities of Homo Trumpas individuals could be significantly enhanced. 4.5 Amber and Bink's Research Methodologies. Throughout their research, Amber and Bink employed a range of methodologies to gather and analyze data. They used advanced neuroimaging techniques to study brain activity, conducted longitudinal studies to track cognitive development over time, and implemented experimental interventions to test their hypotheses. Their rigorous approach ensured that their findings were robust and replicable, earning them respect within the scientific community. They published their results in leading journals, participated in conferences, and collaborated with other researchers to expand the scope of their work. As they presented their findings to the world, Amber and Bink emphasized the interplay of nature and nurture in shaping human cognition. They advocated for policies and programs that could provide enriching environments for all individuals, regardless of their genetic background. In doing so, they hoped to foster a society where differences were not just acknowledged, but celebrated, and where every person had the opportunity to reach their full potential. Their research underscored a fundamental truth. While genetics set the foundation, it was the environment that built the house. And with the right tools and support, that house could be a place of understanding, empathy, and growth.
Amber and Bink with a vision so clear, design a path for all to adhere. In classrooms bright they sow the seeds of critical thought and noble deeds. With every lesson planned, every story told, they shape young minds in a future bold. From ethics to empathy, in hearts they'd start building bridges, mind by mind, heart by heart. Seeds of understanding in the fields we sow, teaching minds to question, letting wisdom grow. In the light of knowledge, see the future bright. Amber and Bink, guiding through the night. Critical thinking at the heart of the start. With logic and reason, we do our part. Ethical dilemmas in life we find, solving with care and a thoughtful mind. With every lesson planned, every story told, they shape young minds in a future bold. From ethics to empathy, in hearts they'd start building bridges, mind by mind, heart by heart. Seeds of understanding in the fields we sow, teaching minds to question, letting wisdom grow. In the light of knowledge, see the future bright. Amber and Bink, guiding through the night. In communities they reach, the impact shows. Students grew with hearts and minds their own. From pilot programs to a broader scale, education's power in detail. Civic engagement, the lesson learned. Rights and duties, respect art. Empathy building, stories shared, understanding others, how much we care. Building bridges, mind by mind, heart by heart. Oh, oh. With every lesson planned, every story told, they shape young minds in a future bold. From ethics to empathy, in hearts that start building bridges, mind by mind, heart by heart. Seeds of understanding in the fields we sow, teaching minds to question, letting wisdom grow. In the light of knowledge, see the future bright. Amber and Bink, guiding through the night. Seeds of understanding in the hearts they lay. Future generations will find the way. Amber and Bink, the legacy profound. In every mind and heart their wisdom found.
Chapter 5, Educational Interventions, 5.1. Developing a new curriculum. With their groundbreaking research well received and their findings validated by the scientific community, Amber and Bink Robinson knew that their next step was to translate their discoveries into practical applications. They were determined to create educational programs that could help Homo Trumpas individuals develop the cognitive skills and emotional intelligence necessary to thrive in a complex world. Amber and Bink collaborated with educators, psychologists, and neuroscientists to design a curriculum tailored to the unique needs of Homo Trumpas. The program focused on enhancing critical thinking, ethical reasoning, civic awareness, and empathy. They believed that these core areas would help bridge the cognitive gap between Homo Trumpas and Homo sapiens, fostering a more inclusive and cohesive society. The curriculum was structured around interactive lessons, hands-on activities, and real-world applications. It emphasized the development of problem-solving skills, the importance of questioning assumptions, and the value of diverse perspectives. 5.2. Teaching Critical Thinking and Ethics. The first module of the curriculum focused on critical thinking and ethics. Amber, drawing on her expertise in cognitive neuroscience, developed exercises that encouraged students to analyze information critically, recognize logical fallacies, and make reasoned arguments. Bink, with his background in biology, contributed by creating case studies that illustrated ethical dilemmas in scientific research and everyday life. Students engaged in debates, role-playing scenarios, and group discussions that challenged them to consider multiple viewpoints and develop well-reasoned conclusions. The goal was to cultivate a mindset that valued evidence-based reasoning and ethical considerations in decision-making. 5.3. Enhancing civic awareness and empathy. The second module aimed to enhance civic awareness and empathy. Amber and Bink believed that understanding one's role in society and developing empathy for others were crucial for building a harmonious community. They designed activities that introduced students to the principles of democracy, the importance of civic engagement, and the responsibilities of citizenship. Through simulations of civic processes, such as mock elections and town hall meetings, students learned about the functions of government and the power of collective action. Additionally, empathy-building exercises like perspective-taking and storytelling helped students understand and appreciate the experiences and feelings of others. 5.4. Pilot programs and initial results. The Robinsons launched pilot programs in several diverse communities to test the effectiveness of their curriculum. They worked closely with local schools, community centers, and educational organizations to implement the program and gather feedback from participants. The initial results were promising. Teachers reported that students were more engaged, showed improved critical thinking skills, and demonstrated greater empathy towards their peers. Amber and Bink analyzed the data from these pilot programs, refining the curriculum based on the feedback and outcomes. One notable success story came from a school in a rural area where Homo Trumpas individuals were predominant. The program helped students develop a newfound appreciation for critical inquiry and ethical reasoning, leading to a noticeable shift in the school's culture towards more inclusive and thoughtful interactions. 5.5. Scaling up and broader implementation. Buoyed by the success of the pilot programs, Amber and Bink began working on scaling up their educational interventions. They partnered with educational institutions, government agencies, and nonprofit organizations to expand the reach of their curriculum. They also secured funding from foundations and philanthropic groups committed to advancing education and social cohesion. To facilitate broader implementation, the Robinsons developed training programs for educators, ensuring that teachers were equipped to deliver the curriculum effectively. They also created online resources and interactive platforms to make the program accessible to a wider audience. As the educational interventions gained momentum, Amber and Bink saw a ripple effect in the communities they touched. Students who had gone through the program became advocates for critical thinking, ethical behavior, and civic engagement, spreading the principles they had learned to their families and peers. The Robinsons' vision of a more inclusive and understanding society began to take shape. They knew that education was the key to unlocking human potential and bridging the divides that separated Homo Trumpas and Homo sapiens. Their work was far from over, but they had laid a strong foundation for a future where every individual could thrive, regardless of their genetic background. As they continued to refine and expand their programs, Amber and Bink remained steadfast in their commitment to fostering a world where empathy, ethics, and critical thinking were the cornerstones of human interaction. Their journey had shown them that with the right tools and support, the potential for growth and understanding was limitless.
In a world divided, lines have been drawn. Two paths before us as we carry on. Amber and Bink, with hearts so true, seeking to unite in all they do. Polarized and torn, society stands. Challenges arise, slipping through our hands, but they light the way through the darkest night with a message of hope and a guiding light. Bridging the divide with empathy and grace, finding common ground in every phase. In a world of difference, we stand as one. Amber and Bink, their work is never done. Discrimination looms, casting shadows wide. Identities politicized, nowhere to hide. They speak of unity in every town, with voices clear, breaking barriers down. Polarized and torn, society stands. Challenges arise, slipping through our hands, but they light the way through the darkest night with a message of hope and a guiding light. Bridging the divide with empathy and grace, finding common ground in every face. In a world of difference, we stand as one. Amber and Bink, their work is never done. In town halls and streets, their vision share a future of unity for which they care. With every step, every word they say, they pave the path for a brighter day. Challenges remain, but progress is near. Communities coming together, casting off fear. Education builds hearts, begin to change in the quest for unity. They reiterate. Polarized and torn, society stands. Challenges arise, slipping through our hands, but they light the way through the darkest night with a message of hope and a guiding light. Bridging the divide with empathy and grace, finding common ground in every face. In a world of difference, we stand as one. Amber and Bink, their work is never done. Bridging the divide with love and understanding, a future built on unity with every heart expanding. Amber and Bink, their legacy profound. In a world united, their dreams are found.
Chapter 6: Social and Political Ramifications. 6.1: Increased Social Polarization. As the educational interventions designed by Amber and Bink Robinson began to take root, their impact on society was profound. However, the introduction of the concept of Homo Trumpas and the educational programs aimed at bridging cognitive divides also led to increased social polarization. While many embraced the new understanding and the potential for growth, others felt threatened by the implications. In communities where Homo Trumpas individuals were more prevalent, resistance to change and skepticism towards the Robinsons' findings were particularly strong. Some viewed the new educational programs as an attempt to undermine their traditional ways of thinking and living. This resistance created a divide, with supporters of the Robinsons' work on one side and detractors on the other. 6.2 Challenges in Coalition Building. The heightened polarization made coalition building more difficult. Political leaders and community organizers who sought to unite people across the cognitive divide faced significant challenges. Efforts to create inclusive policies and programs were often met with resistance from those who felt their identities and beliefs were being marginalized. Amber and Bink worked tirelessly to bridge these divides, advocating for a balanced approach that respected the perspectives of both Homo Trumpas and Homo sapiens. They emphasized the importance of dialogue and understanding, urging communities to come together and find common ground. Despite their efforts, the path to unity was fraught with obstacles. 6.3 Discrimination and Stigmatization. One of the unintended consequences of identifying Homo Trumpas as a distinct species was the risk of discrimination and stigmatization. Some individuals and groups began to use the genetic differences as a basis for exclusion and prejudice. Homo Trumpas individuals were sometimes unfairly labeled and treated as inferior, leading to social tensions and conflicts. Amber and Bink were acutely aware of this danger. They launched a series of public awareness campaigns aimed at combating discrimination and promoting inclusivity. They emphasized that genetic differences did not determine a person's worth or potential, and that every individual deserved respect and equal opportunities. 6.4 Identity Politics and Resistance to Change. The introduction of the concept of Homo Trumpas also fueled identity politics. Groups rallied around their genetic identities, sometimes using them as a basis for political agendas. This phenomenon was particularly evident in areas with significant Homo Trumpas populations, where leaders capitalized on fears and insecurities to consolidate power. Amber and Bink recognized the complexity of these dynamics. They understood that identity was a powerful force, and that people derived a sense of belonging and purpose from their group affiliations. However, they also believed that focusing solely on genetic identity could hinder progress and unity. They worked to promote a broader vision of community that transcended genetic differences. 6.5 Amber and Bink's Advocacy for Unity. Throughout these challenges, Amber and Bink remained steadfast in their advocacy for unity and understanding. They continued to engage with communities, policymakers, and educators, spreading their message of empathy and critical thinking. They participated in town hall meetings, gave public lectures, and wrote articles to reach a wider audience. Their work also involved collaborating with other researchers and activists who shared their vision. Together, they developed strategies to address the social and political ramifications of their discovery. They proposed policies that supported educational initiatives, promoted social cohesion, and protected against discrimination. Amber and Bink's efforts began to bear fruit. Slowly but steadily, communities started to see the value in their approach. Schools that implemented their educational programs reported improvements in student behavior and academic performance. Civic engagement increased as more people felt empowered to participate in their communities. As the Robinsons' vision gained traction, they saw glimpses of a future where differences were not just acknowledged, but embraced. They envisioned a society where Homo Trumpas and Homo sapiens could coexist harmoniously, each contributing their unique strengths to the collective good. Their journey was far from over, and the road ahead remained challenging. But Amber and Bink were driven by a deep sense of purpose. They knew that the seeds of understanding they had planted would one day grow into a forest of unity, providing shelter and hope for generations to come. And with each step forward, they moved closer to realizing their dream of a world where empathy, ethics, and critical thinking formed the foundation of human interaction.
Under the spotlight's glare, facing doubts and fears, Amber and Bink stood strong through the stormy years. Together they forged ahead with passion and with grace, defending all they'd found in every public space. Critics' voices loud, but their resolve held tight. In the darkest hours they still saw the light. With every trial faced, their bond grew strong. In the quest for truth they journeyed on. Resilience together in the face of strife. Hand in hand they walked through trials of life. With hearts united and a vision clear, Amber and Bink overcoming fear.
misunderstood, they stood their ground. Through every high and low, their purpose found. Partners in the storm, their love a guiding star. With every step they took, they'd come so far. Adversity met with grace, together they would stand. Building bridges in the dark, across the land. With allies by their side and foes they defy. Amber and Bink, reaching for the sky. Critics' voices loud, but their resolve held high. And foes they defy. Amber and Bink, reaching for the. In the darkest hours they still saw the light. With every trial faced, they bond grew strong. In the quest for truth they journeyed on. Resilience together in the face of strife. Hand in hand they walk through the trials of life. With hearts united and a vision clear. Amber and Bink, overcoming fear. Resilience together, her story shared. In a world divided, they deeply care. Amber and Bink, their legacy will stay. In every heart they touch, they lit the way.
Chapter 7. Personal and Professional Struggles. 7.1. Amber and Bink's Relationship Dynamics. As their research and advocacy efforts expanded, Amber and Bink Robinson faced increasing pressures both personally and professionally. The spotlight on their discovery of Homo Trumpas and the subsequent educational interventions they championed brought them a mix of admiration and scrutiny. The couple, who had always thrived on their intellectual and emotional partnership, found themselves navigating uncharted waters. Despite the challenges, Amber and Bink remained deeply committed to each other and their shared mission. They often spent long nights discussing their findings, strategizing ways to address the growing polarization, and supporting each other through the inevitable setbacks. Their relationship, built on mutual respect and a shared passion for discovery, became their anchor amidst the storm. 7.2 Professional Challenges and Criticisms. The Robinsons faced significant professional challenges as their work gained more attention. While many in the scientific community supported their findings, others were critical, questioning the methodology and ethical implications of defining a new human species. Academic debates grew heated, and Amber and Bink found themselves defending their research at numerous conferences and in countless publications. The scrutiny extended beyond academia. Public figures and media outlets weighed in on their work, often simplifying and misrepresenting their findings to fit various narratives. Some accused them of creating divisions, while others praised them for shedding light on human diversity. Navigating these polarized reactions required resilience and a steadfast commitment to their principles. 7.3 Ethical Dilemmas and Personal Convictions. Amber and Bink were no strangers to ethical dilemmas. Their research raised profound questions about identity, belonging, and the nature of humanity. They grappled with the potential consequences of their work, constantly reassessing their approach to ensure it was grounded in compassion and respect for all individuals. One of the most pressing ethical dilemmas involved the potential misuse of their findings. They feared that the concept of Homo Trumpas could be weaponized to justify discrimination or exclusion. To combat this, they doubled down on their efforts to promote inclusivity and empathy, highlighting the importance of seeing beyond genetic differences to recognize the shared humanity in everyone. 7.4 Balancing Research and Public Advocacy. Balancing their rigorous research with the demands of public advocacy proved to be a delicate dance. Amber and Bink found themselves pulled in multiple directions, from conducting in-depth studies and writing scholarly articles to appearing on television shows and participating in community forums. Their roles as scientists and advocates sometimes conflicted. Amber often worried that their public engagement might dilute the scientific rigor of their work, while Bink was concerned about the potential for their message to be misunderstood or co-opted. Despite these challenges, they remained committed to their dual mission, advancing scientific understanding and fostering social change. 7.5. Overcoming adversity together. Throughout their journey, Amber and Bink drew strength from their partnership. They supported each other through professional setbacks and personal doubts, celebrating their successes and learning from their failures. Their shared vision of a more inclusive and understanding world kept them focused and motivated. One particularly challenging period came when a prominent media outlet ran a series of articles misrepresenting their research, leading to a wave of public backlash. Amber and Bink responded by doubling down on their outreach efforts, clarifying their findings and reiterating their commitment to ethical science and social justice. Their perseverance paid off as they gradually rebuilt public trust and continued to garner support for their educational programs. In the face of adversity, the Robinsons also found unexpected allies. Fellow researchers, educators, and community leaders rallied around them, offering support and collaboration. These partnerships enriched their work and reinforced their belief in the power of collective action. Amber and Bink's journey was far from over, but they had already made significant strides in bridging the cognitive and social divides highlighted by their discovery. They knew that the road ahead would be filled with more challenges, but they also knew that together they could overcome anything. Their story was one of resilience, love, and unwavering dedication to a vision of a world where empathy, ethics, and critical thinking could flourish. As they continued their work, they remained hopeful that their efforts would inspire others to join them in building a more inclusive and compassionate society.
Hand in hand they built a bridge across the great divide. Amber and Bink with hearts so big, standing side by side. In the face of fear and doubt they forged a brand new way, uniting all with hope and love for a brighter day. Common ground they found in every heart and mind, shared humanity, leaving no one behind. With empathy and grace they paved the way for a future bright, where everyone could stay. Unified tomorrow, a dream they made so real. Together we'll stand with hearts that truly feel. Homo Trumpas, Homo sapiens, hand in hand we'll go in a world of understanding. Let the kindness flow. Stories told through art and song of lives entwined as one. Lessons learned and bridges burned beneath the same bright sun. From classrooms to the wider world, the message spread afar. Amber and Bink, their guiding light, a shining northern star. Common ground they found in every heart and mind, shared humanity, leaving no one behind. With empathy and grace they paved the way for a future bright, where everyone could stay. Unified tomorrow, a dream they made so real. Together we'll stand with hearts that truly feel. Homo Trumpas, Homo sapiens, hand in hand we'll grow in a world of understanding, let kindness flow. Policies and laws were changed for justice and for peace. Communities came together, conflicts began to cease. In every corner of the world, the vision took its flight. A legacy of love and truth shining in the night. Long-term impact clearly seen in minds that freely think. Graduates with open hearts upon the knowledge bring. As generations carry forth the seeds that they had sown, a future bright with unity, where understanding's grown. Unified
Chapter 8. Towards a Unified Future. 8.1. Integrating Homo Trumpas and Homo sapiens. Amber and Bink Robinson's efforts to bridge the cognitive and social divides between Homo Trumpas and Homo sapiens began to show promising results. Their educational programs were gaining traction, and more communities were embracing the principles of empathy, critical thinking, and inclusivity. The Robinsons envisioned a future where the two species could coexist harmoniously, each contributing their unique strength to society. To further this vision, they initiated integration projects aimed at fostering collaboration and mutual understanding between Homo Trumpas and Homo sapiens. These projects included joint community service initiatives, interspecies cultural exchanges, and collaborative problem-solving workshops. By working together on common goals, individuals from both species began to see each other not as different or inferior, but as valuable partners in building a better world. 8.2. Promoting Common Humanity and Shared Goals. Amber and Bink understood that promoting a sense of common humanity was crucial to overcoming the divisions that had emerged. They launched a series of campaigns that highlighted shared values and universal human experiences. Through storytelling, art, and media, they showcased the diverse but interconnected tapestry of human life, emphasizing that everyone, regardless of genetic background, sought love, security, and fulfillment. Their message resonated widely. People began to realize that the differences between Homo Trumpas and Homo sapiens were not barriers, but opportunities for growth and enrichment. The Robinsons' work helped to shift public perception, fostering a collective identity rooted in mutual respect and shared aspirations. 8.3. Long-term impact of educational programs. The long-term impact of the Robinsons' educational programs became increasingly evident. Schools that adopted their curriculum reported sustained improvements in student engagement, academic performance, and social cohesion. Graduates of the program were more likely to pursue higher education, participate in civic activities, and advocate for inclusive policies. Amber and Bink also tracked the progress of communities that implemented their educational interventions. These communities experienced reduced social tensions, increased cross-species collaborations, and a stronger sense of unity. The Robinsons' vision of a society where empathy, ethics, and critical thinking were the norm was gradually becoming a reality. 8.4. Policy recommendations and social reforms. Building on their success, Amber and Bink worked with policymakers to develop and implement social reforms that supported their goals. They advocated for policies that promoted equal access to education, protected against discrimination, and encouraged civic participation. Their recommendations included funding for integrated schools, support for community-building projects, and legal protections for minority groups. The Robinsons' influence extended to international forums, where they shared their findings and strategies with leaders and educators from around the world. Their work inspired a global movement towards more inclusive and equitable societies, demonstrating that the principles they championed were universally applicable. 8.5. Amber and Bink's legacy. As Amber and Bink looked back on their journey, they were filled with a sense of accomplishment and hope. They had faced numerous challenges and setbacks, but their unwavering commitment to understanding and unity had led to significant progress. Their legacy was not just in the scientific discoveries they had made, but in the lives they had touched and the communities they had transformed. Their story became a testament to the power of partnership, resilience, and vision. It showed that with dedication and empathy, it was possible to overcome even the deepest divides and build a future where everyone could thrive. Amber and Bink continued to work tirelessly, knowing that their mission was far from complete, but confident that the seeds they had planted would continue to grow. As they stood together, watching a new generation of students and leaders take up their cause, Amber and Bink knew that their dream of a unified world was within reach. Their work had laid the foundation for a future where Homo Trumpas and Homo sapiens could live in harmony, learning from each other and growing stronger together. And in that future, the values of empathy, ethics, and critical thinking would guide humanity towards a brighter, more inclusive tomorrow. Conclusion. As the sun set on their monumental journey, Amber and Bink Robinson stood hand in hand, gazing at the diverse, united community that had gathered to celebrate their groundbreaking work. The discovery of Homo Trumpas and the ensuing efforts to bridge the gap between the two species had transformed not only their lives, but also the world. The road had been far from easy. They faced skepticism, criticism, and countless challenges as they navigated the complexities of their research and its societal implications. Yet, through perseverance, collaboration, and an unwavering commitment to their vision, Amber and Bink succeeded in fostering a deeper understanding of humanity's diverse nature. Their work had sparked a global movement towards unity and inclusivity. Educational programs tailored to the cognitive needs of Homo Trumpas had flourished, creating environments where critical thinking, empathy, and civic responsibility were nurtured. These efforts not only improved the lives of Homo Trumpas individuals, but also enriched the entire human community, demonstrating the power of education to transcend differences. Policies advocating for integration and equal opportunities had been implemented in many parts of the world, driven by the data and recommendations provided by the Robinsons. These changes began to dismantle the barriers of discrimination and stigmatization, paving the way for a more cohesive and empathetic society. Amber and Bink's legacy was not merely in their scientific discoveries, but in the tangible impact they had on the world. Communities once divided by misunderstanding and prejudice now stood united, working together towards common goals. The Robinsons had shown that by embracing our differences and focusing on our shared humanity, we could build a brighter, more inclusive future. As they reflected on their journey, Amber and Bink felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Their story was one of resilience, collaboration, and hope. They had proven that even the most daunting challenges could be overcome with determination and unity. Looking ahead, they were filled with optimism. The seeds of understanding and cooperation they had planted were taking root, and the world was on a path towards a unified tomorrow. The Robinsons knew that their work was far from over, but they were confident that the foundations they had laid would continue to grow and thrive, guided by the principles of empathy, education, and equality. In the end, Amber and Bink Robinson had not only discovered new truths about the human species, but had also illuminated the path towards a more harmonious and inclusive world. Their journey was a testament to the power of science, compassion, and the indomitable human spirit.
In a lab, late at night, Amber and Bink found the light. Two worlds hiding in plain sight. Truths once out of reach. Genetic codes, neural threads, secrets in our heads. Two species, one Earth, a story we must teach. Two worlds, one heart, let's find a way to start. Bridging gaps, breaking chains, we can play a part. Through the storm, through the strife, let's build a better life. To life, to life, to life. Two worlds, one heart, we're strong. Let's build a better life. Two worlds, one heart, we're stronger when we unite. Difference is clear, but hope is near. In every child we raise, teach them to think, to feel in compassionate ways. Critical minds, empathetic hearts, learning from the start. Together we'll find a path through the nights and days. Through the storm, through the strife, let's build a better life. To love, to love, to life. Two worlds, one heart, we're strong. Let's build a better life. Two worlds, one heart, we're stronger when we unite. Amber and Bink, their love, they fight for unity. In this divided light, they showed us how to see, how to grow. In every mind a spark, in every heart a glow. Social divides, political ties pulling us apart, but together we can weather with wisdom and with heart. From the lab to the streets, every soul we meet holds the key to a future where we all have a part. Two worlds, one heart, let's find, let's build a better life. Two worlds, one heart, we're stronger when we unite. Two worlds, one heart, let's standing side by side in unity, in love, let compassion be our guide. For in this divided life, they showed us how to see, how to grow. In every mind a spark, in every heart a glow. In this divided life, they showed us how to see, how to grow. In every mind a spark, in every heart a glow. Social divides.